Hi everybody, I'm Miss Skull and I teach over at Eastside.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Anderson and I teach at Creekside.
We are going to talk to you about periods and feminine products that you can use. Typically when you are first starting your period, it can be not so regular. So you might have it for a few days and then it might go away, or it just might not be as consistent. But hopefully it will become that once you get older, because it does last for about 4 to 5 days. And it is a cycle that just keeps going through every single month. So much fun. You only lose about 2 to 3 tablespoons, which might sound like a lot, but when you're spreading that out over numerous days, it's not a whole lot. I just think it's really important that everyone knows what they are and how to use them, because you never know if there's going to be someone in your life that says, I need help, or I need you to go get these things for me. So for me, it's just really, really important that you know what these are, so that if somebody needs your help, you can actually help them. Walmart, Target, Dollar Tree, like these things are available in lots of different places. There are lots of options, so you might feel overwhelmed, but hopefully there are people in your life that will be able to help you and make a good decision for you. We have pads and tampons, and both used in very different ways. One is outside of your body, the other goes inside your body. But we just want to show you how those work and the best way to understand them. We're going to start talking about pads. So here's some lovely non-used clean underwear. Pads, there's lots of different choices. Typically they're quite thin. If you see some older models, they're quite thick. Not everybody's going to need these kinds of things, or these, at least this thickness. That to me would be more of like I have a much heavier flow and need a lot of fluids trapped. But typically you are seeing very thin ones that you don't notice as much. I remember these more when I was younger, and it felt like I was wearing a diaper all the time. So not fun. So you undo the wrapper, and then there's sometimes, if you pull it wrong, like I did, it doesn't do that. But the backside is sticky, and that's what's gonna stick to the underwear. So you pull it apart. Sticky side goes down on the inside of the underwear. Oh, I can't see. Short people problems. All right, so that's gonna go on the inside of the underwear. You might have to readjust it a little bit if it's positioned too far forward or too far back. Like, you'll figure it out of what's most comfortable for you, but goes in there. You get to wear that. Hey, Mrs. Anderson, how long would you say that you should probably wear a pad?
You know, anytime that you're wearing a pad, you should probably go and change it often, maybe at least every 1 to 2 hours, and for sure every time you need to use the restroom.
You're gonna use the wrapper of the new one to roll up your old one. So just make sure you don't, drop your pad on the floor or something like that. Taking out your old one, stick it back on, roll it up. Lovely. This goes in the garbage. Never, ever, 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 ever try to flush these things. Don't ever try to flush. And then you put in the new one. This one has like the wings. It has wings.
Fancy.
I feel like there is a proper direction. I feel like normally if it's kind of what you would call tapered, it's like more narrow here and goes bigger, that can go towards the back versus the front. Thank you. That's more helpful. Put it back in. The wings can go underneath so that it really can hold that in place.
The wings help protect your underwear too. Now, if you get a little fluid or blood on your underwear, you don't have to throw them away. It's not like you're trashing your underwear every time that happens. They rinse out really nicely with cold water and laundry soap. So don't throw your undies away just because they got a little fluid or blood on them.
Yep, but once you're done, throw it in the garbage. Make sure you wash your hands. And there you go. You changed your pad. Woo, congratulations.
Now we're going to talk about tampons. So tampons are another way to soak up the fluid that you are losing during your period. There's a couple parts of a tampon. So this one is actually a plastic applicator. There are some that have no applicator, and there are some that use cardboard applicators. I've always preferred the cardboard applicators because plastic sucks and we don't want to fill our world with more plastic. So I usually look for the ones that are cardboard applicators. But this little cotton thing is inside the applicator, and this will go up inside your body to catch all the fluid that you're releasing during your period. Then this little string right here hangs outside of your body, so you're able to pull it out. Now, just like Miss Gullen said, any of the things that we have after we use, when we get rid of the products, we want to make sure that we put them in the garbage. We never ever flush them down the toilet. So I've got a tampon right here. Again, like we're telling everyone what these look like, right? So it's no real secret what they are, but these can easily be tucked into your waistband, thrown in a pocket or a purse while you're using the restroom, so nobody really knows that you have it. Now this one opens, this little flower sticky opens so that the wrapper, the tampon can come out of the wrapper. This is what it would look like when it's all put together. Again, this is a plastic applicator. So you're going to take this little applicator, and we're gonna say that my hand is a vagina, and I'm going to put that tampon up into the vagina, and I'm going to push the plunger on the bottom so that the tampon, the cotton part is up inside my body. Then I'm going to pull out this applicator. You don't wanna leave that there. It's not very comfortable. Now this is set and ready to go. I'm going to take the applicator. I'm gonna put it back into that little plastic wrapping. And then this is what goes in the garbage, right? A lot of times you'll actually see the little like metal bins or plastic bins inside the restroom, and that's where these can go. That's a feminine product waste bin. That's where all of the trash or garbage after you're done using it can go right in there, or you can use it, put it in the regular garbage can. Now, to take it out. So this little string should always be outside my body, and when I need to take it out, I just pull that string, and that's gonna take all of the period fluid with. Now this tampon should not, again, be flushed. We'll have major problems. I'll roll up in some toilet paper and then throw it in that same little bin or garbage can to get rid of it. You do not wanna flush this down the toilet.
A big question I normally get about tampons is, well, what happens if the string rips out? That is a very, very rare thing to have happen.
Really woven in there.
It's so in there. So if you're saying like, I'm not gonna use that because I am afraid that the string is gonna rip out, don't be afraid that the string is gonna rip out.
The tampon is really, really important that you take these out fairly often. These can be left in overnight, and the pads too. You don't have to get up every 1 or 2 hours to change your pad or your tampon at night. What can't happen is that the tampon should not be left in your body for days and days. So like one of these should not last from like right away when you wake up in the morning until you go to sleep at night. You should be changing it a few times during the day. They do say every 1 to 2 hours. If you do not change it and you leave it in for multiple days or longer than a day, you could get very, very sick. So if you leave it in overnight, totally fine. If you leave it on throughout the school day, totally fine. But always check it when you go to use the restroom. So with tampons, it really is up to you and your family, your caregivers, if that's gonna be something that you use. Pads are typically what is used, the panty liners, the really thin, small ones, and the bigger ones, pads that are typically used when someone first gets their period. The one thing that you can't do when you have a pad on is go swimming, because that pad is just gonna soak up all that water, and then you're gonna have like a diaper in your swimsuit bottoms. So if you're going to go swimming and you have your period, then you need to use a tampon. They don't hurt when they're inserted, and they shouldn't. If they do, then maybe something is not being done just right.
You'll know.
Yeah,
you
you'll
will know if it is not put in right and you're uncomfortable. Tampons do sometimes take practice of how to put them in. So if it feels uncomfortable, it's probably not in the right way. So you might just have to try again.
We wanted to talk to you a little bit about being prepared. This does not mean that everyone in 4th or 5th grade right now should start wearing a panty liner if you think you're gonna get your period. Have products along with you in your bag. So being prepared with a little baggie, a little pencil case. My box of pads came with this lovely little carrying case. It even has pockets. I know. So like you're going to the restroom with this, or this is tucked in your backpack, nobody's gonna know what it is. You could have a plastic baggie. You could have a pencil case. Lots of things that you can use. Just having a few panty liners, a couple larger pads, and maybe if you're starting to use tampons, have tampons. What's really nice about having products in your backpack or on you is you very often are surrounded by other humans that may have their period, and I have helped out a friend many times because I have those products with me and I'm able to give them one if they need one.
I also think that it's a good idea to bring an extra pair of underwear, especially if you do have your period, for like what Mrs. Anderson had said before, of like if you do get any of the fluids on like your underwear, like don't get rid of them, but sometimes people are very uncomfortable with that, or just for any reason. I would always recommend just bringing an extra pair of underwear.
We always get questions if you get your period and you don't have any products with you. You could do a number of things. You could fold or wrap some toilet paper or Kleenex and put it in your underwear, just like we had the pad. That'll stay nicely during the day, and just make sure you check it often. Again, when you first start getting your period, it's very, very light, so it's not going to be a lot of fluid coming out of your body. Another thing is you could always ask any of your female teachers. They most likely will have products, or your nurse at school will have products on them. I know at Creekside, like my students know that I always have products in my bathroom, so if any student ever needs anything, they have them.
I always tell my students, no one's gonna know that you have your period unless you are literally announcing to the world that you have your period. So,
and that might make people feel awkward, so you don't need to announce to people that you are having your period.
No.
Thanks so much for listening to our talk about feminine products. We hope this was helpful for you, whether you are an individual that may get your period someday, or whether that you are an individual that may be helping someone else that has their period. Thanks for listening. We hope you, again, are more informed, and have a great day.
Happy puberty.